welcome back to the ministry. And today's topic is being like a bull in a china closet. A lot of us have been in situations for long periods of time, and with the long periods of time in which we have been in these scenarios, we have felt like the closer we get to the thing that we think that we're going to receive, the more we feel like we're like a bull in a china closet, a bull in a bullpen, a lion in a cage. We just want the door to open so that we can take off. I mostly feel like the lion is on a leash. Depending on the way that the person that I'm dealing with reacts to me, I feel like, do I want to pounce today? But I have a leash. Keep me on my leash, keep me on my leash, keep me on my leash. Leash. Yeah, it can feel so frustrating when you are working on a lot of things and you're waiting for the door to open, and it's like you're looking at the clock and you're like, Lord, you said this is gonna happen. Is it gonna happen? Especially when you are used to repetitive action of a similar outcome occurring, and you're like, Lord, is it gonna happen this time? Is it really gonna transpire this time? Are we really looking at a good outcome this time? In comparison to my previous situations and scenarios, is this time different than the last several times? If so, how so? Because you begin to wonder, and your mind begins to wander back to the places and spaces in which you were at before. And because of that, you're kind of like, can we do this? Can we do this? How can we do this? In which way do we do this? And you're like, I'm frustrated. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for this to happen. I'm ready for that to happen. Pause. A lot of us ain't ready for what it is that the Lord is preparing to do for us. We may have prayed for it. We may have pressed for it. We may have gone through levels and levels of training and preparation, but we still, like a parent. Oh, Lord, I'm going to have this baby. And when I have this baby, it's going to be perfect. We're going to have the child. And I have the baby on the schedule. And this, that, and the other thing. And it's going to be perfection. Baby comes. Parents laid out sleep. Half the time screaming at each other. Baby screaming all the time. And they trying to figure out what happened to our schedule. We were supposed to be doing something with this baby. With this. All of the plans that they had went out the window as soon as that child came, because the child had a mind of its own, and it was not their mind. It did not go by their standards, their rules, or their desires. And if you pay attention to little children sometimes, them children know more than you do. And you really act like it. You gotta pay attention to 2, 3, 4 months up. That once they figure out their parent's schedule, they know exactly what to do to get which parent to do what. They know that if they scream at a particular parent, this particular parent's going to be like, oh, I don't want to hear this child screaming. What do you want? Are you wet? Are you this? Are you that? Are you the other? Oh, you just want me to hold you. That's all they really wanted. It's like, I got what I wanted. Some children, they know with their mother, they can't do that. Because their mom be like, wait a minute, you only did this so that you could get me to pick you up. That's all you really, because as soon as I picked you up. And they know, and the mother knows it, because as soon as they try to put them down, they start screaming again. Or, you know, those classic scenarios with the children that they passed 1 to almost 2 years old. They got this element where they'll start screaming And some of them don't even have to be that old. Some of them, they'll start screaming, and the mother will be able to figure them out that they get that fake cry on. It's not the regular cry. It's not the cry, I need something. It's the cry, oh, if I cry, they'll give me attention. Cry. And then when the parent figures them out and is like, I'm not falling for that, they get that look on them. Because they realize they've been caught. Children will do that to you as young as 1.5 years old. Hello. Point being, you think you know what you're walking into, whether it's parenting, whether it's marriage. Everybody sits up there and says, ooh, I want to get married, I want to get married, I want to get married. They get enamored with the dresses and the wedding cakes and the this and the other thing and all of that and how beautiful this thing is going to be and all of the other things. And it's like, y'all got to deal with each other afterwards. Now, some cases it's like, okay, all right, we understand, we've dealt with each other, there's this show called Married at First Sight. I have never really watched it before. I'd heard from another Christian who actually had the opportunity to be part of the casting process, meaning she was going to work to bring the couples together that they were going to cast on the show. And they even asked her if she wanted to do it, and she said no. She wasn't being led to do that. But sometimes the Lord will set you up in a scenario where you're going to get married like that. You ain't even going to know the person that well. You'll know what the Lord has told you about that person. Outside of that, you ain't going to know nothing. You'll know what the Lord has led you to about that person. Outside of that, you ain't going to know nothing else. Some situation, everybody be like, oh, you're supposed to get to know this person. You're supposed to date them for a serious amount of months. You're supposed to get engaged for a year. You're supposed to, all this time before you get married. Some people, they meet and get married in about 6 weeks. Ask them 30 years later, they still married. Then you got those people that sat there for 2, 3, 5, 7 years prepping to get married, got married, was divorced in anywhere from 5 to 7 years. I've seen it happen to people. Because what happened is somebody changed. And the other person didn't change or go in the direction that person changed into. Every marriage and every relationship, you're going to be tested and tried. It is what it is. Some people are going to desire to change together, or they're going to desire to change separately. If they desire to change together, their marriage may last. But if they keep changing separately, meaning I'm going to go my way, you go yours, guess what? That breeds division and gives a humongous wedge for the enemy to come in and just ransack that thing. Because you have to choose to constantly change together, because if you don't choose to change together, when children are added to that mix, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many children you desire to have, them children are going to come between the two of you if you allow them. If you don't come to an agreement of understanding where it's that element of, hey, we know we're having kids. This is what it is. How are we going to manage our relationship once they get here? How are we going to learn to maintain us once they get here? I'm going to need for you to talk to me when these kids get here. Because yes, the kids will get there, and what will happen is you may start to because you both are desiring for a little bit of air, because kids have a tendency, they want to take up all your time, all your space, I want to be with you, where you at, what's going on. If I hear mommy talking, I want to be where she at. She trying to have a conversation outside of, and the children don't care, they really just don't. And you just trying to have a moment, whether you're trying to do ministry work, whether you're trying to do what have you, and you trying to have a moment just to breathe by yourself. Like, don't even tell the child I'm here. Because these children, they're like, I want to be with mommy. Especially if they're a single child. Then you got two children, and then they start arguing and fighting with each other, and then you got to go and break up fights and all that kind of stuff. It's like, and all of these things can become tiring to the mother. And the father, if he chooses, and this is a choice on the father's part, to be around as frequently, knowing that this is happening. In order to nurture your relationship, you have to nurture the fact this was not supposed to become a marriage conversation. I don't know how this ended up here. We were talking about bulls and china closets, but we're going to get back there. The nurturing of a relationship, that when you get into it, that you're going to take the time and spend the time with one another and doing all of these things in order for you to maintain and continue to relate with each other once children come into the picture. You always see the commercials, it's like, with one child, this happened. Now you have two children. One child, y'all manage to find time for each other. But when you have two children, then you're balancing your time. At the end of the day, what really needs to happen when you have kids as a married couple is that, which is easier said than done, you have to have people in your network of people that if mom and dad need some time, guess what? Grandma is going to take the kids. Sister is going to take the kids. Somebody's going to take the kids so that y'all can have, and even to yourself, so that you can recalibrate with one another. Maybe you have a babysitter, and that babysitter watches your kids while you and your spouse go to lunch. But you got to make time for each other. Because if you don't make time for each other after you have kids, what's going to happen is you're going to become distant and don't know what happened. And what happened was them kids. Having time to have lunch together without the kids. Having time to have lunch together with the kids. Having time to go on vacation without the kids. Having time to go on vacation with the kids. Because sometimes it's like, no. Or if you are on vacation and the kids are with you, having somebody there that the two of you can step away from the kids for a while and recalibrate with one another, which can be difficult if, let's say, you don't know each other that well. Let's say it was an abrupt marriage and you had kids immediate. You only had the 9 months to get to know each other before those kids came into the picture, and you could find yourself in a state where you're distant from one another and you're not understanding how to get that space closed between the two of you because of the fact that I can't get rid of the kids. But I need time to find out what's going on with you. Because a lot of weight comes to the mother. A lot of weight. And if you don't have a partner that's understanding of a lot of weight comes to you, and they make themselves available to you because they have the understanding, look, there's a bunch of children in this house. If I don't make myself available to this person, then how are we going to operate? Because she can't not be available to these kids. She can't not breastfeed these kids. She can't not be at their beck and call because they need more from her than they need from me. Granted, yes, the father can fill baby bottles and feed the babies with the baby bottles and all that kind of stuff, and he can help change diapers and all that kind of stuff if you got that attentive type person. But it's always a choice, because the day that there's going to be a day when the guy's friends are going to call him and he's going to be like, he has to choose, do I go or do I not go? But at the same time, if he chooses to go, he has to be alert to the fact that that may irritate his wife. And if she doesn't have the opportunity to go, meaning that she had friends that she can go out with, or the fact that you send her off, oh, I'm going to send you to a spa day, he has to even out the playing field. Because he can't sit up there and expect himself to go hang out with his guy friends and not give her some me time. Because if he don't give her me time and she sees him leave, she may be angry when he returns. But a man that has forethought, he's going to think about that. He's going to be like, oh, okay. This was not the direction in this conversation, but evidently this was where the Lord was taking me. Point being, some of y'all, I'm assuming, is preparing to walk into the marriage season. And as they prepare to walk in the marriage season, with marriage comes children. A lot of y'all are sitting in this season where you're bulls in China clothes. I can't wait to get married. I can't wait for this, that, and the other. But are you looking at yourself right now? Are you examining those little things that you do? Those little habits. How are you preparing those little habits? Like for me, I'm looking at my digestive health. How is my digestive health affecting my day-to-day body? And is that a good effect? Is it a bad effect? If I have a bad effect, what kind of effect or what kind of things can I do to give my own body TLC? What would I implement to make those things better? So that when I get into a relationship, when I get into marriage, when I get into those types of things, what would that look like? How am I changing my diet? How is my regimen? For me, it's just a simple fact of being able to eat the things that my diet acquires, and so on and so forth. And let's say that's your bull in the china closet. You need to change your diet. Being able to do a full body workout of, okay, these are the vitamins I need to start taking. These are the probiotics I need to start taking. These are this is the food that I need to start eating. This is the stuff that I need to cut out of my diet. Does that mean I need to cut out everything in my diet? Absolutely not. It just means that I need to balance my diet a little bit more. I've come to find that if I do juicing, I don't eat as many sweets because the juice itself is sweet. So I don't have that craving like I would normally have for a piece of sweets. If I eat a fruit cup or I eat something like that, I don't have the craving I would for a piece of cake or a piece of pie. What are those healthier substitutes for those things? Does that mean that I'm not going to eat my piece of cake? Or does that mean I'm not going to eat my piece of pie? No, I'm going to still eat it. I'm going to eat one piece. There's some people that sit up there and you know it. I mean, look at food videos. How often you see a person in a food video that actually be cooking the food themselves, not cut a piece of cake that is about 1/4 the size of the whole cake? It's either 1/4 or 1/6 the size of the whole cake when they slice that first slice of cake. It's like, you really gonna cut that? You really gonna eat that whole slice like that? These are all elements of, you may feel like you're a bull in a china closet. I can't wait to get where I'm going. I can't wait to get where I'm going. I can't wait to get where I'm going. I can't wait to get there. I can't wait. And the Lord is trying to tell you, observe your parameters before you get there. What are the things that you would need to have, need to do, need to prep, need to prepare for? What if your spouse or what if your significant other is a traveler? How would you be able to keep up with their lifestyle? But, oh, I want to travel. I want to travel. I have heard from people that do travel and have had the chance to travel. It's not easy to travel. Everybody looks at it, oh, I get on a plane and jump off and do all of this. In today's society, it's hard to get on a plane and travel anyway. Let alone, let's say your partner is a traveler, meaning their career calls for them to be, I'm going to be here for 5 days, and I got to be over there for 5 days, and I got to be over there for 5 days, and I got to be over there for 5 days, and I got to be over there for 5 days. And because I got to be here, there, and the other place, that means that we're going to have issues. Because if your body is not, for instance, like I said, you're eating the right food for the best success in your body, you're going to be sitting there like, my body cannot take this race. Because people don't think about the fact of when you go to an airport, you have to sit there for a period of time. Then you got to catch your flight, which some people got to run to catch their flight. They got to go from one side of the terminal to the other side of the terminal. I remember a woman, she was going for her flight, and she was talking about, I had to run from one side of the terminal to the other side. I was not ready for that kind of run, because sometimes you can be at the airport for hours trying to get checked in and all this kind of stuff. By the time you get down to the point in which you have to catch your flight, it's like, now you got to run to get from here to there. So it's not an easy process. Not by any means. What else? But and if you got to travel like that, depending on climate, depending on the food you're eating in each country, it can have an effect on your body, which will affect your immune system, which will affect your health. There are certain foods that here in America, oh good, we've got pesticides. They don't have pesticides over there. I saw a TV show one time. It was a health program, and a person had gone, and the first thing they asked them when they went to the hospital is like, when you started having this problem, had you been traveling? Because what happened was they ended up catching something that caused them to get, it wasn't ringworm, it was something that literally they had worms eating the inside of their leg. And I don't even know what they call that, but it's like the parasite had grown into worms, and that literally they could cut the skin open and it would just be you don't know what you need to be prepared for. That's why they have you be prepared. If you want to have a cook, the cook's got to bring the food with you. If you're going to have somebody come with you, the chef has to make sure that they're cleaning and cooking the food appropriately in order for the parasites and all that kind of stuff that is in that country not to affect you. You got to be prepared. A lot of people are bulls in the china closet trying to get someplace and don't know what they're trying to get to. They don't understand. You're doing too much. That's not what you should be doing. But we're the types of people that are like, oh, if you don't let me out of this situation, I can't wait. This, that, and the other. And wait, and wait, and wait. We've been feeling like we've been waiting, so we so frustrated. But then as soon as the door opens and you end up in any of these scenarios, you're going to turn into a kitten. Well, I thought, and I'm don't get mealy mouthed now. You got the marriage. You got a whole husband now. What are you gonna do? Don't get mealy mouthed now. The baby's all coming. What are you going to do? Don't get mealy mouthed now. You asked for this career. The career is here. You got clients and clientele. You got to serve them. The money's coming in. Don't start panicking now. Don't get kitten mealy mouth now. That same boldness you had when you was trying to get out of that china closet because you was that bull. Don't start receding now. Don't turn into that cat that's peeping out the door. I'm good. I was just kidding. Them giants look way too big over there. I'm in my comfort zone. I want to stay here. But I thought you wanted out. I thought you wanted the marriage. I thought you wanted the kids. I thought you wanted the business. I thought you wanted to travel. I thought you wanted that. I remember Esther's Way released a word about a year or so ago where she was talking about, are you sure that you're ready for what you're prayed for? But see, the thing about it is, I don't think that it's that we aren't ready for it or ready for the responsibility that comes with it. It's sometimes the element that we don't feel that we prepared enough to be prepared to smoothly transition into that space. Because you can plan on paper everything, but let's say your finances were tight and you know that your diet needs to change. You're going to be abruptly jumping into a new situation and you may not have the finances, or maybe you now have the finances, but you got to adjust your body. And adjusting your body, if you ever done a detox or a cleanse or done an abrupt shift in the way that you changed your supplements for your body, the first thing that happens to your body, whether you want it to or not, it tends to get sick first. Because it's not that it got sick, it's starting to pull up all that stuff that was in your body that wasn't working for it, and it makes you feel bad as your body's adjusting to all the new things that are coming into it. So your body needs time to adjust, and you don't know what's going to happen to your body when that happens. It's not something that you're sitting there like, oh, it's going to be pleasant. No, your body. That's why when people do detoxes, they make sure that they're sitting still for a couple of days because they don't know whether the detox is going to run through them. Either way. And that's what it's like. Whenever you're shifting into something new, you're detoxing from the old thing. And it's an adjustment. Your body has to adjust. And sometimes it feels like it gets sick before it gets better. Sometimes we'd be like, in all that energy that we had. But I heard a person say this once before. The ceiling in your previous level is the floor in your next level, which means you have to adjust to the level that you're on. The atmosphere is different. The energy is different. The pace is different. And sometimes it's like, sometimes I feel like in seasons that I should have been able to maintain pace. God doesn't always do you like that. You think that, oh, I should be maintaining my pace because if I'm maintaining the pace, then I can get more things done faster if I'm operating at the maintenance of this pace. And with that happening, you're in a run. You're in a spiritual run. And you're like, oh, I should be able to maintain. And God will sometimes hold, stop. You ain't gonna have no money, no things, no this, no that. And you're like, well, why? Because you're getting into the presence of the Lord. But he throws you right back in at the point in which he left you off in the new place that he's sending you. And you're kind of like, wait, I was at peace where I was. I understood where I was. I was frustrated being there, bull in the china closet. Can't wait to get out. But now you're throwing me into a pace that I was not accustomed to or used to because you got comfortable in your last season. Kitten coming, peeping out the door. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Sometimes you have to be thrown into it because that's the best way for you to come into the fullness of what it is. Because that thing looks so big. Because you're facing a Goliath that you have to walk in. You have to get out there. You have to do it. You have to pursue. You have to have courage. You have to be in the boldness in which you had. You want to receive all of the blessings that God has for you. But you have to let God take the burden and guide you into it. All of Him, none of us. All of Him, none of us. So you better run out that china closet into that blessing with the boldness and the courage you had when you were in there. And you better pursue whatever it is that you were called to do. But you can't come out there with that kitten. That kitten's got to stay right behind you. The kitten's got to stay. You got to walk into these things with the fullness of the momentum in which you desired to be out there, because it's going to need that momentum. And it's not going to be fun, but it's going to be worth it. So this is Dodge McCameron for the ministry. Until next time. Bye-bye.